Hello and welcome to another episode of Taylor Talks Comics. Today we're going to go over the Omnibus, the first volume of Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, and I'm also going to compare it to some previous editions that have been released of the Treehouse of Horror comics. Stay tuned. Alright, please like and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and comment down below with your thoughts. Today we're going to go over the Abrams ComicArts edition that just recently released of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. It's a nice slipcase edition. We're going to do an overview of what this looks like and then also compare it to some previous editions. So first of all, you have this die-cut slipcase that it comes in. So obviously you can see there's a hole there, and it shows off the artwork there. So as far as the box goes, the top just has like the pink design on it. The bottom with the UPC Abrams ComicArts. Here's what the spine looks like on this side if you displayed it with the slipcase out, or you can do the spine of the book. They both have that option for how you want to display this. It does say volume 1, and the solicit did say there would be 3 volumes to complete the set. So yeah, it's a slipcase. Here's the book itself, and this does glow in the dark, this first cover here. I don't have the special flexibility to show that off on camera, but maybe I'll show up a picture on my Instagram or whatnot, which you can get to on the link tree down below in the information. But yeah, so here's the front cover. Here's the spine. Like I said, you can display it with either the slipcase out. Yeah, so I could show off both of those. The slipcase out or the spine of the book. They both work that way. So I like that when you have that option. I know DC Absolutes sometimes have the option, sometimes don't. Here's the back cover with another image here. And then this book is really beautifully designed. So here's the front end papers. And I always appreciate when the end papers on the front and back are different. So they all have the same design, but then there's that one image there. And same on the back, but there's one image here. So there's one little difference, but it's just kind of cool to see that. So first, oh, sorry, I'll go through this work too. So you got this paper here, and then it says Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, the new image there. And you get the acknowledgements and whatnot. The indicia doesn't say how this was previously published. That's one thing I would look for in the indicia. Like, it'll say, like, this includes these previous editions, whether it be trade paperback or single issues, which a lot of this was released in single issues and then collected in trade paperback, which I'll get to later with how that was collected. So here's the table of contents. So this is really well done. Like, even at the top it says, to easily find your favorite creator in this terrifying, massive book, turn to the creator index in 414, which I'll go more in detail on this, but that's that page. And it tells you exactly what page those creators worked on and what they did. So really good content there, because there are a lot of creators that did these stories. So it starts off with the introduction, and then the way they did this was they separated it by, I guess, theme of story, because these Treehouse of Horror, if you're not familiar, the Treehouse of Horror episodes on The Simpsons were always like a Halloween special, and it was just like, it wasn't your typical Simpsons episode. It was usually them spoofing off of another horror movie or multiple horror movies, or like a Twilight Zone episode, or kind of doing their own thing within those realms, but it's kind of like a spooky tale with the Simpsons characters involved. And these are in that same vein, but they feel more like, to me, like EC Comics stories. And I love EC Comics. If you are subscribed to the channel, you know that. I have multiple videos on that. So the way they arranged this, though, was by theme of story. So I guess these are like Invasions from Beyond. This is Technology Run Amok, Trick or Terror, chilling killer thrills from shadows, parallel parables. And you get your introduction from Bart Simpson. Which I looked in all my... I don't have every trade paperback this was previously released in, but I do have 4 of them, and I didn't find this introduction inside of it. And this introduction does mention this Omnibus. So I don't know if this is brand new artwork and brand new introduction. It would be cool if it is. But I don't know if they just repurposed this with that in there from another introduction or what. Because those other ones do have introductions, but just not this one. And then each section has its own artwork with own chapter break. And then you get into the story. And this first one is Little Shop of Homers. So I'm just going to flip through here. I guess I should tell you, too, the size of this is kind of odd. In a cool way. I'm not complaining about that at all. But this is your typical standard comic book size. So you can see that's taller and wider than it. But it's not just deluxe sized. This is a DC Deluxe edition. And this is also the same size as like a DC Omnibus or Marvel Omnibus or Marvel OHC. Those are all the same trim size. So it's taller than and wider than that too. Just to give you a heads up on the trim size. But these old previous editions, which like I said, I'll go over later, are still smaller than it. Like these are odd shaped in itself. Like here's a standard comic book. Like they were always kind of odd shaped. But now they've taken it an even step further and given you even more oversized artwork. So just real quickly on that. But yeah, let's flip through the artwork because you get a lot of cool creators in here. Like some of it just looks like standard Simpsons fare. Not like a lot of different artwork there, but then this one you have Doug TenNapel on artwork. Doug TenNapel, the creator of Earthworm Jim. So he does the artwork on this first one. And that's what's kind of cool is too, is you get to see different people's artwork within it. And this one you have Evan Dorkin's script and art. So Evan Dorkin, he's worked on some licensed titles before. Like he had the huge run on Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. But then he has his own titles like Dork and... Beast of Burden he's done, and Milk and Cheese. This one, the script is by Patton Oswalt, with Jason Ho doing the artwork. And it's They Draw, so it's obviously a spoof off of They Live, the movie. But instead of the sunglasses looking different, like it looks like sketched in images, so it's kind of cool. This one is a story by Mark Hamill, and then art by Bill Morrison. Bill Morrison, though, anytime you see like I said, the standard Simpsons artwork, it's usually Bill Morrison. He was the artist in a lot of Simpsons comics back in the day. So I'm not surprised to see that. I do have a quick question though here for myself. 141 to 144. I want to see how this is listed in the table of contents. Okay, it is in there. Okay. I didn't know if they would always have these like gags too in them, or little like 2-page strips within the stories. So that's kind of cool. And then we get to the Trick or Treater section. This one we got Sergio Aragonés doing the artwork. And it's interesting because sometimes, like on the original comics, I guess I'll just bust one out. The credits pages, like it was a theme too to have so you'd have like the kind of the Marvel style, like Stan the Man Lee, Jack the King Kirby, like you'd have like those, or Smile and Steve Ditko. These ones would have like Maggotty, Matt Groening, Putrid Peter Bagg, Gangrenous, Stephanie Gladden. They had those on every strip. But I noticed, like, on the first one here, they repurposed that and didn't have that. So, which one is this story in? This Heebie-Jeebie Hullabaloo. So it's this story. And I believe it's the last story in here. So they're even collected out of order. So here's, like, a comparison shot. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera there. Here's a comparison shot of Little Shop of Horrors from the trade paperback and then the new hardcover. You can see like the scripting down here is different. There's like a colored strip there. This one is not. And this one even has like the funny names. Like instead of Mike Allred, it's Mike Alldead. Louis Escobar Sinister. Bill, son of Godzilla Morrison. And here's just Laura Allblood, Nathan Killer Kane. So on here, they chose not to put those silly names in there. This is very interesting there. Another difference I noticed too is a lot of these have like a colored bleed around the page. On here, they just went with white. So interesting choices there. How they decided to do that. But yeah, here's Gail Simone on the story, Jill Thompson on art. So you get Jill Thompson on artwork too. So that's a cool thing about this is like all the different creators that are involved. You get to see them all doing their own different style of Simpsons comics. Like who's this one? Oh, Kelly Jones doing artwork, which is cool. Kelly Jones, famous for Batman, Sandman, among other things. But yeah, let's get to the creator page then. Who's this one? This looks fun. Oh, this is Jim Mahfood. Yeah. Written, illustrated, and lettered by Jim Mahfood. It's interesting seeing Jim Mahfood in color from back then. Like, this is not his usual coloring style, but you can definitely see the art style is his. Jim Mahfood's awesome. So, just some creators that I am a big fan of. You know, Mike Allred, Sergio Aragones, Dan Brereton. His painted style is crazy. Especially, you even get like Alice Cooper doing a story. Jeff Darrow doing artwork on a page. Paul Dini, famous for Batman the Animated Series. You get Evan Dorkin doing a few pages. Sarah Dyer doing colors on one of those Dorkin stories. Sarah, frequent colorist for Dorkin. Tony Fleece, he's doing colors here, but he's now doing stories like Stray Dogs, another horror comic that we have here. Mark Hamill, Sammy Harcum, Kelly Jones, like I said. Jim Mahfood does he has 3 credits on that same page. Patton Oswalt, Tom Payer, Eric Powell. In Eric Powell's story in 307, let's find that one. His story was nominated for an Eisner, I believe. Let me see, it says it in the credits here. Yeah, Eisner Award nominee for Best Short Story. And then Treehouse of Horror number 5 was Eisner winner for Best Humor Publication. But this one was nominated for Best Short Story. This is done by Eric Powell of Goon fame, which is great. Let's go back to the credits there. Scott Morris. We have Stan Sakai doing a page. What's Stan Sakai look like doing Simpsons? Stan Sakai, famous for Usagi Yojimbo. Let's look at that page. Oh, okay. Wow, this is really different looking for Stan Sakai. Stan Sakai, he does colored Usagi Jimbo now with IDW, but traditionally it's black and white. And it's just interesting to see him do the Simpsons characters. I would not have been able to pick that out of Stan Sakai artwork right away, which is unusual. Normally you can pick his out. John Severin even does some. Mark Schultz. So, I mean, Jeff Smith even for Bone. Doug TeNapel, I guess, pointed that out. Joel Thompson. Just some amazing contributors to this. And that's what makes it fun. So, just real quick, too, this is the build. You can see the eye right there. It's sewn binding. Really, really well put together book. But the interesting thing to me is how it's collected. So, like I said, these were the 4 of the old editions of trade paperbacks. They had Heebie Jeebie, Hula Blue, Fun Filled Fright Fest, Spooktacular, and Hoodoo, Voodoo, Brouhaha. And these were things I was always seeking out. Like you'd see a couple of these I bought at flea market, and then I was trying to seek out all of them because they're so much fun. I was actually going to show these on the channel this Halloween. This one episode I was planning, but then this was coming out, so I don't know. I might have to do more in depth of this. Volume 2 is not solicited yet. But the way it's collected, so these were originally single issue comic books that came out every Halloween that people would look forward to, just like they would be looking forward to the episodes, the Treehouse of Horror episodes. But these, the way they're collected is very interesting to me. So this one, you have like Invasions from Beyond, like I said. It includes stories from Heebie Jeebie Hullabaloo and Hoodoo Voodoo Brouhaha. So this first section has stories from both these trade paperbacks, and also content from issues 16, 19. So it's not in order. So these books are not just collecting all of the Treehouse of Horror comic books in order, like a traditional like DC or Marvel Omnibus would, which is interesting to me that they went this route. One thing I also noticed though is it doesn't always have the content as far as like these pinups like aren't always in here. There's some like, it has some of these gag strips and stuff like that in it, but not all of them. That's funny. Comic book guy is Astro Boy. It's like comic book cosplay. Or comic book guy cosplay. Some of these other gags. So I don't know how they're collecting those, if they will collect them all. Another thing I noticed too is that it doesn't have the covers in it. And these introductions, like I said, the other one had the introduction by Bart. This is an introduction by Comic Book Guy. The planet of Apis is in the story, and then the ring around the Simpsons is. This is the one with Dan Brereton art, which is crazy. Painted artwork. So I don't know if every single thing from these old trade paperbacks will be collected in these or not. I hope that's the case. I hope they don't leave anything out. Oh, here's like the cover artwork, which this doesn't include any cover artwork for the single issues. This one does. It has like the Treehouse of Horror number 1, number 2, and number 3. Those aren't in here. But like I said, this will be 3 volumes when it's all said and done. So I don't know if they plan on putting all the covers in volume 3 or all those gag strips in volume 2 or 3. I hope that's the case, and I hope they don't miss anything. Otherwise, this is a great book if you're wanting just like a fun, silly comic book in the horror genre. Or if you're a Simpsons fan, or if you love the Treehouse of Horror episodes, I highly recommend getting this book. It's very affordable. It's only $39.99 US. And you can get it for like 20, 30 bucks on Amazon or your typical in-stock trades, cheap graphic novels, those kinds of websites will have it for cheaper. But yeah, so this has been Simpsons Treehouse of Horror, the ominous omnibus, Scary Tales and Scarier Tentacles, Volume 1. Thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below with your favorite Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode, or if you're collecting this, or if you plan on buying any of this, or if you have any other Simpsons Bongo comics that you enjoyed. Let me know. Thanks.